Looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Tossing food wrappers and soda cups can be expensive. That $7.99 value meal you threw out the window could cost you $500 in fines. And if you don't learn your lesson the first time, a second fine will cost you $1,000. Put garbage in its place. Throw away your trash, not your cash. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Transportation, Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
You can beat your toughest opponent. You can beat your best time in the mile. You can beat that old largemouth bass. But one thing you should never try and beat is a train. If a train is approaching, don't risk your life trying to beat it, because beating the train is a deadly game. Drive safe, Alabama. Sponsored by ALDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
All across the nation, we are here for our communities.
We're doing our part to get supplies where it's needed in order to fight COVID-19 together.
It feels good to be out there to assist our community.
I would like our friends and family to know that your National Guardsmen are always ready and always there.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's the top of the hour, about 9 a.m., and you're still listening to WEGL 91.1 FM. Well, you made it this far. Go get yourself a cup of coffee. You've earned it.
I really need a cup of joe, and if I don't get one, I think I might blow a gasket, and it's not a pretty sight.
We'll be right back in a few minutes with the second half of the show. Thank you so much for listening to Compact Discourse.
What's up, Auburn? This is your host, DJP of the Woodstock Hour, WEGL's longest-running classic rock show. Feel free to tune in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for an hour of peace, love, and music.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro-synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that.
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right, I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, you know? Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use, like, anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
There are 250 miles of trails in Alabama state parks. That's 250 miles for you to hike, bike, and explore. And it's something we want to share with future generations. Help us improve these trails by becoming a partner in the Alabama State Parks Trail Program. To learn more about the importance of outdoor recreation and how you can help with the development and management of this new trail program, visit alapark.com or call 800-ALAPARK. Sponsored by the Alabama State Parks, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Check out my new time machine.
Does it work?
Hit the button.
Hey, it's Napoleon.
Oui. Check out the future.
Hey, you have a nice house. Why don't I?
You didn't save any money, buddy.
If only there was a way I could go back in time and fix that.
Yeah.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad.
How can we make Alabama a more beautiful state? By keeping our roads, highways, schools, and communities litter-free. It doesn't take much, but to think before you act. So what does the next generation say?
Pick it up, man. Take pride in your school. Did you just litter? Clean it up, dude.
How can you make a difference? Adopt a mile. Join the Alabama Clean Campus program or join in the Spring Cleanup or Alabama Coastal Cleanup. And remember,
don't drop it on Alabama.
This message by People Against a Littered State, the ABA, ALDOT, and this station.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. Streaming live on WEGLFM.com or however you may be joining us today. Thank you for spending your Tuesday morning hanging out with us here on WEGL, Auburn's home for student-run radio since 1971. I'm your host, Jack Hart, as always, joined by Davis Carroll, Daniel Locke, and Chris Tobias on a Tuesday morning. It is the 9th day of the 11th month of the year. Hanging out with you here as we have 2 weeks left until we got to get out of here for a week to celebrate the holidays. And when we return, there will be just a few more shows, and then we got to get out of here for a couple more weeks until we'll be back with you at the first of the year. So it's really winding down, snuck up on us indeed. And we will be savoring each and every moment of it as we head down the stretch. I want to thank everybody for listening this morning. I want to remind you can still tweet at us at CDiscAU if there's anything we say that you have any opinion on, I'd like us to hear. You can also call in at 334-844-9345. We'd love to hear from you there as well. We'd be happy to field your call. Plenty of excitement coming up later on this week. We're going to have a WEGL Wednesday tomorrow. We got the Why So Serious show coming on at 5 p.m. tonight. So just keep the dial right here on WEGL 91.1. And I'm sure you'll enjoy the content we're producing this week. All right, with that, we're going to jump right back into some movie news. No, this is not through the lens, but I think it's worth talking about indeed, as we are just this is one of the first topics we ever talked about on Compact Discourse this semester, and that is the new Spider-Man movie coming out in December. Mm-hmm. And I don't know too much about it other than it's coming out, so... what's the crux of this? Is it still Marvel?
It is Marvel, but Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, so they kind of have the final say of what happens with them. But they've given Kevin Feige, the guy who makes the Marvel movies, the producer of all of them, they've kind of let him do what he thinks is right, so that he can fit into the MCU because they're making money too.
Because he's a genius.
He knows what he knows what he's doing.
Say what you want.
I have issues with the Marvel movies, but I have respect for Kevin Feige doing it a good way and knowing what he's doing. But so there was the Spider-Verse cartoon that came out in 2018, was it? Somewhere around then, maybe a little bit earlier. That really introduced the multiverse. They didn't introduce it; it was already kind of a thing. But it in movie form
to the mainstream audience.
Yeah, and it's an amazing movie. I love that movie. One of my favorite probably top 2 favorite Spider-Man movie for me. Hot take. But then there was a lot of rumblings, a lot of talk about making a live action version with all the 3 Spider-Men that we have seen on screen, that being Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and now Tom Holland. And then they announced No Way Home was going to be a multiverse movie, and then they obviously showed in the trailer it was going to have Doc Ock, Electro, and Green Goblin.
Well, it started when there were rumors that Alfred Molina had been casted in No Way Home, and people were like, huh? He's from Raimi's Spider-Man. And then he was like, oh, yeah, I'm in that movie. And he was like, oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. And then Jamie Foxx did the same
Jamie
thing.
Foxx
And they were like,
posted about it. He's like, can't wait to work with my friends again.
He was like, I'm Electro again, guys. And then an hour, like 24 hours later, he deleted the post, but he just blatantly said it. And everyone was like, Electro, Dr. Octopus, is this a multiverse movie? And then, you know, it ended up being true. So that's where we're at now is we got Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Electro, and the poster that was released yesterday all but confirmed that Sandman from the Raimi trilogy is all but in it, with the presence of a lot of sand, which, you know, to the average viewer might say, why would that be relevant at all to the movie poster, Chris? Well, as a very big Spider-Man fan, both in the visual and written mediums, the presence of sand when Spider-Man is around is pretty relevant, especially when it's prominent on your movie poster. So I'll take that bet.
Well, and Jamie Foxx, the post that he made also had all 3 Spider-Men on it, looking at a sky with his eyes in it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, so I mean, like, he pretty much confirmed it, but technically it's not confirmed that Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire is going to be in it.
I hope that they don't tell anyone until the movie comes out. Even
Andrew Garfield's been denying it pretty vehemently.
Well, he's going to look so silly when
Tobey Maguire has not. I haven't heard anything from
Tobey Maguire actually straight up said that he was in the movie at one point.
Did he?
He was walking around in New York, and a fan asked him, like, are you in the new Spider-Man movie? And he was like, yeah. Because he just doesn't care at this point, which love the guy. Davis, you want to talk about the leaked images from today?
Yeah, there was some new leaked images. There's been a lot recently. There's obviously the one where Andrew Garfield's like on the scaffolding, which was, and you saw a video of him talking too, but you don't know what he's saying. Chris didn't believe that one, but I feel like that one's pretty definitive. You can't really fake someone talking that well unless it's a really good deep fake, and even then, it's pretty noticeable.
I've seen some convincing deep fakes.
I have too, but that one, like, that one's in 4K. That one's real. But, yeah, the new photos today we saw, I showed Chris, it was a picture of Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all in their Spider-Man uniforms, or costumes, not uniforms, with their masks off, standing, like, looking over the city on a piece of scaffolding, which looked pretty convincing to me. The lighting looked really good.
And it did look like the set of the leaked Andrew Garfield video, which I thought was interesting. The other one intrigues me a lot because it is Happy Aunt May and Peter Parker sitting around the table with none other than everyone's favorite resident blind lawyer, Matt Murdock from the Daredevil Netflix series, which if you have not watched Daredevil on Netflix, go watch it. It is amazing. It's a fantastically written, choreographed show. There's so much action, very intriguing plot lines. If you have not watched the Daredevil movies, it was by far the best that Netflix had to offer in terms of Marvel, and the first season actually made a lot of references to the first Avengers movie. They don't directly, say it by name, but there's a few lines like where Wilson Fisk and a bunch of other criminals are standing around, and he's like, they're talking about Daredevil, and he's like, so what? Put a few crazies with masks on, they destroy a few city blocks, and we all get the profit, like stuff like that, and little newspaper clippings in the background. So it was implied that Murdock was in the MCU, but I don't think he was ever meant to.
He's been rumored to be in this movie for a while, too, but this is the first real leak we have of him.
Yeah, and also the conversations with Charlie Cox have become more and more, hinting at the fact that he is returning, because they've asked him if he would come back for another Daredevil, and he said it would depend on the stories that they tell. I hope that with the direction that Marvel's going and the growing audience, they allow the Daredevil show to remain rated R, because I think that helps to ground him as this raw, rough fighter as opposed to his superhero. I mean, he's just a straight-up brawler, and I hope that they bring that into the MCU.
They might bring the Punisher in, too.
If they bring back, I mean, the Netflix shows were just perfectly casted. If they bring back Matt Murdock, they have to bring back Joe Bernthal as the Punisher. Jon Bernthal as the Punisher.
He was a good Punisher.
And Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. Only one that I think you can recast is Danny Rand, Iron Fist.
Yeah,
because
Iron Fist was kind of
that was the not a good choice. But everyone else you got to bring back. I mean, they just killed it in their roles. And if you bring back Matt Murdock, you got to bring back the rest.
We'll see how it goes. It's shaping up to be a good movie.
It is alleged that Wilson Fisk will be the bad guy of the Hawkeye show, but I don't know how much there is to that.
I think he might be.
If they bring back Vincent D'Onofrio, that would be a legendary.
Interesting.
So
they make James Gandolfini the new. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
We're just 5 short weeks away from all these questions and more being answered by Spider-Man No Way Home coming out on December 17th. So look forward to that. I think Through the Lens is going to be having an amazing Spider-Man special coming up to get hyped for it.
Indeed.
All right, so put that on your radar and get excited. It's 5 weeks away from that coming out, and I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about regarding that in the future. So keep it right here on WEGL 91.1. I got Davis, Chris, and Daniel hanging out with me this morning. Plenty more to get to. We'll be hanging out with you till 10, so keep it right here on WEGL.
These are the moments you remember.
The kick is good! Auburn wins!
These are the sounds you celebrate.
Fastball driven, deep left center field! David Ross, you have company!
Whether it's the stadium, the arena, or the ballpark.
Auburn 75, Kentucky 70. I think I'll storm the court. There goes Davis! Oh my God!
Your home for Auburn sports is the Auburn Sports Network.
Making it green is making sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN. Preserve your family's health and well-being. Get your home tested. That's living healthy and green.
Make it green, green, green. Make it green. It's your home, it's your dream. It's your dream.
Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN.
A message from the U.S. EPA.
Here's farmer and landowner John Prue.
We purchased the land about 3 years ago, and there was an old farmstead on there with trees. We were going to clear the land so we could farm through it. We thought we knew where the pipe was, so we didn't call to get it located. The work on our property led to the damage of a light crude pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety Campaign.
Fire threatens everything in its path. When it threatens our nation and our communities, we respond. We bring the fight to the front line. The Army National Guard stands ready to face the dangers of Mother Nature and protect our homes and our neighbors. We will always be there when your community needs us the most. Discover more about all the ways you can serve part-time in your community by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Alabama's companies know people need to feel safe at work. That's why Alabama Works has partnered with agencies across the state to provide access to everything from CDC guidelines to the latest in on-the-job safety innovations. At alabamaworks.com, you're one click away from what you need to know to get to work safely. Work safe, be safe. Your new success story is at alabamaworks.com.
Sponsored by Alabama Works, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Alabama veterans. Are you aware that because of your military service you may have earned VA benefits? The Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs can help you access those benefits at no cost to you, even during COVID-19 when other resources might be hard to find. The Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs has an office near you. For more information, go to va.alabama.gov or give us a call at 334-242-5077. We're open and ready to serve you. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs, the ABA, and this station.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is WEGL FM Auburn.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I am your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Chris Tobias and Daniel Locke, hanging out with you on a Tuesday morning. We are coming at you live from the Harold Melton Student Center here on the campus of Auburn University, where it is a pretty nice autumn day outside as we are winding down the semester. Believe it or not, it feels like it just started. But plenty of excitement still to be had here on the Plains. Got basketball tipping off tonight against Morehead State.
Yeah, let's go, boys.
So excited.
That is going to be awesome. Daniel, you thinking about coming tonight?
I wouldn't say thinking about it. I know I'm going to be there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So excited to be a part of the jungle for the first time. I've been waiting on this since my junior year of high school.
You haven't been to the jungle before.
No, I've never been to the jungle.
I mean, I've been as a regular fan.
Right.
No, it's not the same.
No, I'm not making the argument that it is. I fully agree, but I'm so excited. First time. It's going to be so much fun. I've been waiting on this for years.
Yeah, this is the first full capacity game since March 4th, 2020, if you can believe that.
I was at that game.
Yeah, I was too.
Heartbreaker.
But let's not let that get our spirits down.
Was that Kentucky or
that was Texas
A&M?
A&M. It was the only home game we lost that year.
Shame.
That broke a decently long streak.
All right, you can go to auburntigers.com/jungle. It'll take you right to the jungle page. At the top, it has the jungle. What is the jungle? Join the jungle. It has you everything you need to know how to get into a men's basketball game, all the rules and regulations, backpacks not allowed, all that stuff. You can meet the jungle leadership team, including Jacob Hillman of WEGL and Compact Discourse. You can also meet Michael Floyd, who is one of the most passionate Auburn fans on campus. You can also sign up to get your official jungle t-shirt. I got mine yesterday. They look pretty cool. There's going to be plenty of jungle shirt giveaways throughout the year, but we need to have you on our official roster, and you can do that by joining the Jungle Forum, which is at the very bottom of auburntigers.com/jungle. There's also a map of Auburn Arena. If you have not been to Auburn Arena as a student, where you need to line up to get into the game. Line formation officially begins at 4 p.m. The gates will open at 5:30, and the tip-off will be at 7 against Morehead State. Morehead State is in Kentucky, I think, from my cursory research, right up there with Murray State. Kentucky really can't figure out what a state is. They have a lot of schools named that up there. But yeah, after what I heard was a bit of a harrowing performance in the exhibition game, Auburn's going to look to bounce back and get a big win against Morehead State to open up the season, go 1-0 in our home barn, and we are super happy to be back. So get excited for that. Come on out. If you're not busy tonight, come on out to the Auburn Jungle and support the team. And we've also got another game coming up on Friday against the University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. That is going to be on Friday, same time, same place. We've also got the ladies' game against Georgia Southern to open up their season. That's going to be on Thursday at 7 p.m. as well. So you got plenty to do as a student. You have your responsibility to come support the team. You got 3 opportunities still left this week to do so. And then, of course, we got Mississippi State coming to town at 11 a.m. on Saturday. It will be cold once again, even in that sunshine. So I would recommend bundling up. I think I'm going to wear my hockey jersey that just freshly arrived yesterday. So I get excited for that. Auburn has got to win this one to stay alive in the West, and I like their chances against Mississippi State team that they have dominated in years past. But let's not get complacent, and let's play every game like it's our last.
Knock on wood.
Get out there and be out there and be loud for the Mississippi State offense. Be quiet for the Auburn offense, and you know the drill. So it's going to be a really exciting month. I mean, we talk about how good of a sports month October is, but it's going to be a really fun November for sports as well. Now that baseball is gone away until the spring.
Any intriguing matchups this weekend? Anything to look out for that could potentially change the climate? Isn't Ohio State is playing? I feel like they're playing someone big this weekend.
It might be the Michigan State game.
Is it the Michigan State game?
Which is less important now that Michigan State
lost to Purdue. No, Ohio State is playing Purdue. That's who they're playing. The infamous spoiler makers, if you will, because
Purdue has, yes, of course, as an unranked team, has 17 wins against a top 5 opponent in the past, I think, in this decade.
If that's
nuts.
They may not be the kind to compete for the playoff spot, but if you are the kind to compete for the playoff spot and the Purdue Boilermakers are on your schedule, you know, clench your teeth, say your prayers, and hope that they do not come and destroy your season single-handedly. And they usually do it in pretty embarrassing fashion. I think
it's never close. It's never close.
We remember the Ohio State game a couple years ago with the superfan whose name I can't remember, unfortunately passed away. Tyler Trent, yes. The motivation the Purdue Boilermakers had for that game, that was amazing to watch Ohio State go down like that. So hopefully it happens to them again this year.
It would be pretty funny. We got some exciting matchups this weekend. We got North Carolina, who are coming off a win against Wake Forest, will be trying to spoil Pittsburgh's season as well, knock them off the pole. Cincinnati is going to have to travel down to Tampa to keep their undefeated season alive against the Bulls of USF.
Probably pretty easy.
Michigan will be traveling to Penn State. I think Penn State is doing a twist on the whiteout game where they're doing all white except for one blue stripe across the stadium to make it look like a helmet. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Kind of a second whiteout. Good luck to Penn State. We're big fans of them here.
Yep.
Very much so.
Second favorite trip this year.
Oklahoma and Baylor in a big Big 12 matchup. That is, of course, at 11 a.m. because we can't have anything nice. That will be Baylor, who kind of squandered their season last week by losing at TCU, but I think they could live with that if they beat Oklahoma this weekend, who is still undefeated, 9-0.
Which I personally am hoping for that upset because I would like to see Oklahoma out of the playoffs, just as a personal preference.
Mississippi State will be traveling to Auburn. As I said, Mississippi State 5-4, 3-3 in conference. Auburn 6-3, 3-2 with the SEC record. Over/under set at 50. Auburn's favored by 5.5 in this one. Will Rogers is your leading passer in that matchup. He's thrown for 3,300 yards so far this season and 23 touchdowns.
That could be our Achilles heel there because our secondary can get exploited after a while. I think we've seen that in the past. So watch out for that. Train up, cornerbacks. We're relying on you.
Play deep. Wisconsin is going to look to secure the big, I don't know if it's secure, but make a good case for their Big Ten West championship, a trip to Indianapolis with a game against Northwestern this weekend. They'll be hosting the Wildcats in Camp Randall up in Madison. Georgia will be traveling up to Rocky Top to take on a Tennessee team. Could go.
Should we put that game on our radar?
I mean,
Tennessee Volunteers they haven't delivered, but they've been putting up some pretty impressive fights. If they didn't absolutely blow it in the fourth quarter against Alabama, they could have made their case there. They put up a good fight against Ole Miss, almost won that game. But
I think Hendon Hooker is better than both Georgia quarterbacks, but I also don't think the best quarterback's going to win this game. So
that's true.
We shall see. Some more Big Ten action. Minnesota and Iowa will be squaring off. It also has some Big Ten West implications. Michigan State will get a bounce-back game against the Terrapins of Maryland. Texas A&M will be traveling to Oxford to play Ole Miss. Vanderbilt will be hosting Kentucky. Fresno State will be hosting New Mexico. NC State's traveling to Winston-Salem to take on the now one-loss Wake Forest. Notre Dame has to road trip to Charlottesville to take on the Cavs of Virginia. Oklahoma State will be hosting TCU to keep their Big 12 championship hopes alive. Washington State will be traveling to Eugene as Oregon looks to remain in the playoff picture, and San Diego State will be hosting the Wolfpack of Nevada to try to get to New Year's Six Bowl, I think, is the ultimate goal for the Aztecs. And that's all your ranked or your ranked teams in action this weekend in college football. When we come back, we will get to a little more sports action and a whole lot more, as there's still a lot to get to. We got 30 minutes left of the show today, so keep it right here. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Tuesday morning here, Compact Discourse. I'm hanging out with Chris and Daniel this fine Tuesday morning. Plenty to get excited about, including a UPC event and the weather. That's how we're going to kick things off, starting off our 9:30 to 9:45 segment. So keep it right here on WEGL, as there's still plenty of good content left to come. Why So Serious comes on at 5 p.m. tonight until 7 p.m. with the Root Brothers and JP, so you aren't going to want to miss that. Keep it right here on the Big 91.
Expected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro-synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that.
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right. I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, you know? Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
WEGL Auburn.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm your host, Jack Carr, joined alongside Daniel Locke and Chris Tobias, hanging out with you on a Tuesday morning right now in Auburn, Alabama. It is 67 degrees and sunny, so it has warmed up about 20 degrees since you woke up this morning. As what this sun is going to do today, as we are looking at a high of 74. 69 degrees is your morning temperature. Afternoon temp's going to get to 70. It's going to cool off when the clouds roll in this evening. Sun's going to set, of course, at 4:44 p.m. thanks to daylight savings time. Evening temp will be 53 and an overnight temp of 49, so bundle up indeed. UV index sitting at 3, so there will be a little bit of sunshine today. Clear skies, plenty of visibility, and like I said, that early sunset, so please plan accordingly if you have anything planned this evening. That is, of course, your Auburn weather report for the bottom of the hour.
Auburn weather.
And if you do have something planned tonight, there's plenty of to do tonight, including the basketball game. There's also War Dam Coffee Jam that is coming back from 6 to 9 p.m. Tuesday night, Mama Mocha's Coffee, donuts from University Donut Company, popcorn from Auburn Popcorn Company, all for free for Auburn students. That is coming up tonight. War Dam Coffee Jam on Sanford Lawn, brought to you by our friends over at UPC. I think our friend Dylan as well He's going to be running some AV and stage work and, all that good stuff that he knows how to do, but no one else knows how to do for the War Dam Coffee Jam. That is tonight on Sanford Lawn. Plenty of music, plenty of coffee, plenty of, nice autumn vibes. It's going to be a nice chilly night to drink a hot cup of coffee on the Sanford Lawn. Leaves are falling. It's been a while since we've gotten a nice autumn, so I'm here for it. All right, another event coming up this week brought to you by UPC, our friends over at the University Program Council. November 10th, 7 p.m. at the Student Activities Center. That's over behind the swimming building. UPC presents Casino Night. Vegas is coming to Auburn this Wednesday night from 7 to 10 p.m. in the Student Activities Center. Come play poker, blackjack, slot machines, and more over at the Student Activities Center, courtesy of UPC, from 7 to 10 p.m. That is going to be Casino Night over at the Student Activities Center. So check that out if you feel so inclined to engage in one of the lovely free events that UPC puts on year-round for the awesome students here at Auburn University. Another event you can check out is the Spirit Week for the College of Engineering. There's going to be free breakfast over on the Gavin Garden at the Brown Copel Center, or the BK, or the BSAC, however you refer to it. All engineering students are invited to that one. That's from 8 to 10 a.m., or 8 to 11 a.m. today. So, Chris, you might have some time to grab some after the show today.
Indeed.
I think there might be some waffles or something going on over at the Gavin Garden, which I think is a good name for it. And, yeah, that's coming up. We've also got Auburn Soccer will be hosting Samford in the NCAA tournament Friday at 5 p.m.
Let's go, ladies.
That is Auburn's first NCAA tournament game since 2018. So this is a big deal. Auburn Soccer is back, and we are hosting a NCAA tournament game. We're going dancing once again. And that's going to do it for your campus announcements for this morning. So
go support the team.
Hope those were relevant to you out there in Radio Land. All right. What's up, fellas? How are we feeling about this week?
Feeling pretty good.
Daniel, what's your test in today?
Nutrition.
Nutrition?
Yep.
Interesting.
The semester is closing in real fast.
It's like we're in a trash compactor. The walls just close in every day.
Yep. Just about 2 more weeks until Thanksgiving, and then after that, a week or 2 of studying, and then finals, and then we're out here, and then some of us permanently, including yours truly.
That's gonna be so sad.
I'm out the door. I'm waving goodbye to my college days, on to the
greener pastures.
Greener pastures.
So today's a big day for you, Chris?
It is a big day for me today. Me and my 9 other compatriots of the Army ROTC War Eagle Battalion, the MS5s, or at least those that are graduating in December. Today we find out our job. So this is a moment I've been waiting 4.5 years for. Needless to say, I am nervous and very excited. So shout out to the Magnificent 10. If you are listening to the show, I don't know, but if you are, much love to my Army ROTC brethren, and then all those that are MS4s and below. Keep pushing. It's worth the wait. So today's a big day.
Big day for Chris. Big day for Daniel as well. It's test day.
Oh, yeah.
School comes first.
School comes first indeed.
All right, yeah. So I hope everyone is enjoying the autumn weather. Like I said, it's not often we get such a textbook autumn here in Auburn, Alabama. It's like a Norman Rockwell painting outside today. So enjoy it if you haven't had the opportunity already. And of course, plenty of opportunities to enjoy it, whether that be standing in line for a basketball game or hanging out at the War Dam Coffee Jam tonight. All right, with the holiday season, we of course we have to talk about the big one or ones that come up at the end of the year, because they're already starting to make headlines. This one coming off the wire from yesterday: a Georgia judge has banished Elf on the Shelf from his county in Georgia. Yeah, this is hot off the wire. A Georgia judge has issued a tongue-in-cheek order banishing the Elf on the Shelf, a recent Christmas tradition, from his county. Cobb County Superior Judge Court Robert Leonard tweeted the text of an order banishing Elf on the Shelf, a small elf that reports the actions of children to Santa Claus in the run-up to Christmas, due to it posing a risk to the emotional health and well-being of Cobb's young children.
It makes you behave. What's wrong with that?
Well, yeah. Life's about.
I think it was a silly joke.
Life's about carrots and sticks, you know. Sometimes you need a stick, and the Elf on the Shelf's a stick.
There's glass eggs, there's metal eggs, and there is bouncy eggs.
Did you guys have Elf on the Shelf growing up?
No, but I have a story where, let's say, an acquaintance of mine in the past I don't really talk to anymore, but I was friends with them, and they had a younger relative, and I almost spoiled the illusion of Christmas because I didn't get the Elf on the Shelf at the time because growing up, we did not do that for our Christmas tradition, so I didn't know what it was, and so we were talking about Elf on the Shelf, and I said, "Why does it matter?" I said some comment like that, and then the entire family looked at me with a very stern look.
Like
while
you had just ruined Christmas.
I almost did. The youngest relative was confused as to why I was questioning the elf, but I quickly recovered and I said, Well, clearly the elf needs to relay the information back to Santa Claus. I'm being so silly, I forgot.
Do you let it use the landline, or do you make it carry a cell phone? What's the question?
I almost spoiled Christmas for a young middle schooler, 6th grader who still believed in Christmas. I did not want to be the one to be that person, but I think they've caught on now. But I was almost that person, so. That's my story. That's my story with Elf on the Shelf.
You got to be that one person at least once in your life to someone. It's inevitable.
When I was in 3rd grade, some 8th grader ruined it for me on the bus, and I'm never going to forgive that kid.
See, I didn't want to be that kid. I didn't want to be the kid on the bus. I didn't want to be
I don't know
Daniel's
where
kid on
that
the bus.
kid's at now. I don't even know his name, but I hope he is miserable.
Hope he's on the naughty list.
I hope he's on the... Well, clearly, if the Elf on the Shelf is looking at him, he's going to be on the naughty list.
Hopefully eternally.
Eternally for ruining the illusion of Christmas or the magic of Christmas. And I, for one, am very excited for that feeling to come back.
Yes, me too.
This Cobb County judge elaborated on his decision. Inexplicably, elves sometimes move and don't move overnight. When these elves do not move, it leaves our children of tender years in states of extreme emotional distress. Leonard tweeted that his order was a, quote, gift to tired parents. He explained the families who loved their elves can feel free to keep them.
I remember what I said. Now. If we have time, Jack.
Sure thing.
So the elf will... the lore is like the elf will mess up the room if you're naughty or something, right?
Yeah.
And I think that said kid's room was messed up. And I said, how would that elf do that? And everyone looked at me. And could not believe what the heresy that I had just spouted from my mouth against the Christmas tradition. I did not get it. I did not know that was a thing, and I almost ruined it. I was like, the elf didn't do that. You can't. It's a toy.
It's just it's a sack filled with sand.
I was almost that guy. It came back to me.
All right, another piece of news I'd like to share with you. A moose on the loose type of story, if you will. A moose, indeed, has gotten loose and taken a stomp around the South Dakota State University football field. South Dakota State University police issued an alert on Facebook warning of a, of course, loose moose in Brookings, South Dakota, and the animal eventually made it to the school's campus. The moose was estimated to be 1 to 2 years old. So here's a video of a moose running around the San Diego State, or South Dakota. It'd be very weird if it was San Diego
weird if it was San Diego.
South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits football stadium. Emmett Kaiser, the regional supervisor for South Dakota Game, Fish, and Park, said the schools, police, and other law enforcement agencies worked together to try to guide the moose out of town, but the animal unexpectedly turned and ran to the Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium to take a run on the football field. Kaiser said the moose was eventually escorted out of town to the west, which kind of sounds like they shot it.
They did not shoot.
Escorted out of town to the west.
I am reading the paper. They did not shoot the moose. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Did you know that in places like Alaska and whatnot, you can call out of work if a moose is by your car? Because they're so dangerous that they would rather you stay home than try and get the moose out of the way. So you're excused from work until the situation is resolved if there's a moose around your vehicle and whatnot.
Man.
I learned that a while ago.
I'd get a lot of mileage out of that excuse if I was in Moose country.
I think you would have to provide an excuse, maybe
a moose excuse.
Moose excuse,
if you will,
to get out of work. Yes, but I learned that a while ago because they're super dangerous.
This just in: Davis sports animal cruelty.
Moose on the loose.
Beautiful creatures.
So yeah, that is what's going on. I mean, obviously, I think South Dakota State may have beaten the Bison of NDSU this weekend. So maybe this is a rally moose. It might be a new tradition coming up in the the Mount Rushmore State.
Well, they should if that ends up being like a thing, right? Maybe they should rebrand from the Jackrabbits Boo to the South Dakota State Moose.
The Moose.
Moosin'. Is it Moose or Moosin'?
It's probably just Moose.
Is there a football mascot that is a moose? If you think about it, they run heavy. They can truck you, and
they you can call that a work if one's in your driveway.
Yeah.
Just like football players.
Just like
All right.
players.
So we'll keep it right here on the Big 91. Just rip that dial off your radio, and we'll be back with some more of the show. Keep it right here on 91.1 FM. That is WEGL, your home for Auburn Student Run Radio. I'm Jack Hart, joined alongside Daniel and Chris. We'll be right back.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro-synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right, I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, you know? Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is FM 91.
WEGL Auburn.
Switch.
Welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1. Hope you're having fun hanging out with us in the booth with us this morning. It is Tuesday, the 9th of November, 2021. Hope you're having a great start to your day so far, and I hope it just keeps getting better as we roll along through this week, this second week of November. Hope your November challenges are going well. That's right, I did not forget. I know, Chris, you took a little run this morning.
I did.
Trying to get to 100 miles this month?
I am. I hit 6 this morning. I've been keeping it. Every run has been at around an 8.5, give or take 10 seconds, with the shorter ones usually being in the mid-7s. So I've been hitting it, and I feel great.
And that's your pace for a mile?
For the
mile for the layman?
Mile pace, yes. That is a mile pace, per mile pace. So
good deal. And everything else going well with your November challenge?
Yeah, I finished my first book last weekend, but that does not count because I started it before November. But I started my second one today, so try and have that done before the end of November. Relatively short one, so I'm hoping to finish it in 2 weeks.
Good deal. Yeah, I enjoyed reading my book on the plane. It was actually a lot better. I thought it was going to be a little dry, but it's actually quite riveting. So I hope to have some independent reading time later on today as I try to get through that. I've also been drinking my water and coffee, as is tradition, and doing my running as well. I've been going at night when it's cold, so it's I've been able to go a lot further than I can when it's hot because my body doesn't, shut down under the intense heat. So
of course,
it's been nice. It's been nice to get out and enjoy the cold. So we were talking before the break about moose mascots, right? I found 2 places that have a moose for a mascot: University of Maine, Augusta, and Utica College in New York. However, the Mariners, the Seattle Mariners, their mascot is a moose as well.
Interesting.
The Mariner Moose doesn't have a name.
Interesting. I still think that it would be a good change from a jackrabbit. I don't know how prominent jackrabbits are to South Dakota culture, so I may just be completely talking out of my rear right now. But, if it ends up being a rally moose, that might be a cool switch, and we would be there for that.
If they went out, you can definitely attribute it to that. The rally moose.
Rally moose. Oh, what if it makes an appearance before the next game and they win it again?
I think they should just adopt it. They should just let loose the moose every game day.
Yeah. Let loose the moose. I like that. That's a good one.
I enjoy that. Yeah, so the moose on almost said it again. South Dakota State University's campus could just be the future of sports out there in the prairie states. So I'm looking forward to that. As Chris did confirm over the break, the Jackrabbits did indeed defeat the Bison of North Dakota State, the perennial powerhouse. So
27-19.
I think there's plenty of merit to this rally moose situation.
Yeah, the Dakota games always seem to be underrated for FBS. They are always very entertaining. Don't get a lot of attention, though, because they're not that national spotlight. Except, what was it? Was it 2 years ago where College Game Day was in North Dakota?
Yes, it was recently because Pat McAfee did a thing out there. He's a Jackrabbits fan, despite going to WVU. But yeah, I think people are catching on, and everyone's talking about with all this conference realignment how North Dakota State should move up. But I think they're chilling. I think they're winning every year. They don't need to move up. They'd get lost in the rabble over here in the FBS.
They might get invited up though, just with how things are been changing around so much. I don't think it's out of the question. Maybe they want to go up and build the same type of notoriety as the Iowa teams do, where they are a contender maybe, but they usually more spoiling seasons type thing. I think we could see the Dakotas become that if they come to the big leagues.
I'm with Jack. I kind of hope they stay put.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But, there's always a higher mountaintop. It's up to you if you want to climb it.
Good point. Good call, Chris. All right, Champion Classic, is that tonight? It is. College basketball is starting off with an unbelievable start. We've got Mount St. Mary's taking on Villanova tonight, 3:30 p.m. Central Time. That's today, actually. So that's the number 4 team in the country. Akron will be going to number 17 Ohio State. Central Connecticut will be playing at number 24 UConn. Number 3 Kansas will be playing Michigan State in the Champions Classic in Madison Square Garden in New York. Kansas favored by 4 in that one. Purdue will be hosting Bellarmine. Number 7 Purdue, so they're one to watch. Texas Southern will be playing Oregon. UT Martin will be playing Tennessee. North Carolina will be hosting Loyola, Maryland. Maryland will be hosting Quinnipiac. St. Bonnie will be hosting Siena out in New York. Illinois will be hosting Jackson State from Mississippi. Tennessee Tech will be traveling to the FedEx Forum to play the Memphis Tigers. Houston will be hosting Hofstra in the Fertitta Center. Arkansas will be hosting Mercer. That's number 16, Arkansas. Auburn's hosting Morehead State, as we all know. Gonzaga will be hosting Dixie State out of Utah. Houston Baptist will be playing the number 5 in the country, Texas Longhorns, in the Frank Irwin Center. Louisiana Tech will be traveling to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama in Coleman. They're ranked number 14. Number 25, Virginia, will be playing Navy in Charlottesville. CSU Bakerfield, the Condors, I believe, will be heading to UCLA, the number 2 team in the country, for a California matchup at 10 p.m. Central Time. And the game of the day tonight at 8:30 Central Time on ESPN in Madison Square Garden. It is the main event. The Kentucky Wildcats and the Duke Blue Devils will be squaring off in the State Farm Champions Classic, as men's basketball gets off to a roaring start here tonight, already with some top 10 matchups to kick off your season. So men's basketball is back, baby. Josh Rothstein, your time has come.
Tell me, avid Jungle fan, what tournament is the Auburn Tigers taking place in?
Oh,
they're doing one, right?
I'm glad you asked.
It's not for like another month, I don't think.
It's not until Thanksgiving week.
Ah.
All right, so we got Louisiana Monroe coming up on Friday. We got South Florida coming up in Tampa on November 19th.
Yeah.
Friday before the South Carolina game. The Battle for Atlantis, spelled with the number 4, of course, because of the number of teams in the tournament. There are more than 4 teams in the tournament. But that is going to be in Paradise Island, Bahamas, at the Atlantis Resort. They're going to set up the court in the ballroom, as is tradition. No Maui trip this year, but I think just as good of a trip to the Bahamas. Auburn will be playing at UConn on the Wednesday before the Thanksgiving on the 24th. They also have a chance to play Loyola Chicago, Michigan State, Arizona State, Baylor, Syracuse, or Virginia Commonwealth University on Thursday and Friday. So that is a tournament that we shall see what transpires over in Atlantis.
Man, I wish that Auburn USF game was the following week so I could go watch it.
Well, we've also got UCF coming to Auburn Arena on December 1st. We've got the Yale Bulldogs coming on Saturday, December 4th. We've got Nebraska in Atlanta, Holiday Hoopsgiving. That's the 11th. We got North Alabama on December 14th. That's a home game. Traveling to play the Billikens as part of a home-and-home that we started last year. That will be St. Louis in St. Louis, Missouri at 8 p.m. on December 18th. And then to round out your 2021 schedule, we will be playing Murray State on the Wednesday before Christmas. That's the 22nd in Auburn Arena. And we'll kick off the conference schedule really early this year on the 29th of December. That's a Wednesday against the LSU Tigers in Auburn Arena. So that is your Auburn basketball 2021 schedule, and we'll hit the conference schedule in 2022. It's coming up fast already. So, yeah.
Indeed. It's
got to make a statement in non-con before you hit the SEC, which is going to be very competitive this year.
I'm excited to see what Ole Hillman has to say about Auburn basketball's potential this year.
It's pretty electric.
Can be, but that was the thought last year too. And if I recall correctly, we did not perform to our potential. Most dangerous word in sports is potential. So,
well, I feel like they were kind of not very motivated because they knew they were playing
Fair
for
enough.
nothing.
Fair enough. Yep. The lack of the postseason could have done that mentally, but we had Sharif Cooper, so.
I wish he'd come back.
Yeah, that was last year.
SEC has 5 ranked teams: Kentucky, Alabama, Auburn, Arkansas, and Tennessee are going to be your 5 ranked teams in the SEC to start the season. But as we know, basketball rankings mean little less than nothing as we kick off the series. So we'll keep our eyes on that, how the teams perform in non-con, and hopefully Auburn can keep that undefeated record back all the way into 2022 like they did in the 2019-2020 season. So we're looking forward to that, and we're wishing the guys good luck as we get on with the Auburn basketball season tonight. If you're going to the game, keep in mind a few things. Student entrance is located next to the main entrance. First come, first serve, general admission seating. No seat saving is allowed. After the bleachers are full, standing room only admission will be available. Face coverings are required while inside the arena. Backpacks are not allowed. And as a reminder, students should not share their university credentials or login information with anybody but yourself. Doors will open at 90 minutes prior to the announced tip-off time. That is 5:30 tonight. So we hope to see you all there. Be loud, be part of the loudest roar in the country as the Auburn Jungle returns for the first time since March 4th, 2020 tonight in Auburn Arena. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
Daniel?
War Eagle.
War Eagle indeed.
Listen to Cheetah Print tomorrow at 8 p.m. with myself and Smackwater Jack, or Jack Hart, as you know him here in Compact Discourse.
Yeah, might just be worth your time.
Wait, actually, I'm sorry. No game tomorrow.
No game tomorrow.
Support women's volleyball.
Support
the volleyball team. Go support them, and then listen to Cheetah Print next Wednesday. So do that.
That's correct. All right, so that's going to do it for today's show. As always, I want to thank Chris and Daniel for joining me, as well as Davis earlier in the show. Thank you so much for listening to another exciting episode of Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. However you joined us today, whether that be from your radio antenna, from WeGoFM.com, or by listening to our podcast, we would like to remind you that all of our previous episodes are available as a podcast, absolutely PSA break-free, wherever podcasts are heard. Just search for Compact Discourse. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at CDiscAU, that's CDISCAU, for links to the podcast, information about the show, and important updates. You can also tweet at us to get your voice on the show. Join the conversation on Auburn's only student-run morning show. You might also want to get a hook. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok here at the station, WEGL_AU. That's the @ for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. WEGL_AU, our dedicated team of marketing professionals, is working tirelessly to provide you high-quality content of the station. And with that, for Jack Hart, Daniel Locke, Chris Tobias, and Davis Carroll, this has been another exciting episode of Compact Discourse. We'll talk at you Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. for the next edition of the show. As always, this is Jack Hart signing off. War Eagle, see you tonight in the jungle, and let's go 1-0.
Whoa! Yankee with no brim!
If you're a single man under the age of 35, you